Welcome to another part of French Revolution, Part 4. France in 1792 was like a stage where the impossible happened. A king was executed, the throne vanished, and the republic was born. The people cheered for freedom, but soon the revolution turned into a storm. And among this chaos rose a hero called Napoleon Bonaparte, who promoted order, glory, and power. So let's find out what happened. But first, here is a point wise summary of the whole French Revolution. I have already discussed in many videos the French Revolution, and in this video I have attached the complete summary of French Revolution for easy learning and easy understanding. France abolished monarchy on 21st September 1792. The newly elected National Convention declared France a republic, a government without a king. This was the turning point in the French Revolution of 1789 1799. France adopted the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity as the foundation of this republic. But when France became a republic in 1792, it sent shockwaves across Europe because the monarchies saw this as a threat for their own rule. There was fear among the kings and nobles. The monarchs in Europe, Austria, Prussia, Spain, and Britain were alarmed by this revolution. They feared that revolutionary ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity would also spread to their own countries and threaten their thrones. In 1789, foreign monarchs did not immediately declare war on France. They mostly watched carefully, hoping France would restore order on its own. They were cautiously observing. Many French nobles also fled to the neighboring countries of Austria, Prussia, and Switzerland. These countries gave them shelter and support, and in return, the nobles urged the foreign kings to restore the French monarchy. By the end of 1789, monarchs began seeing this revolution as a complete threat to the monarchy in Europe. Austria was ruled by Marie Antoinette's family, and they were specially concerned for the safety of the French royal family. Austria and Prussia were concerned about the monarchy so much that they began discussing intervention amongst themselves that how they could crush the revolution in France. During the French Revolution, Britain was ruled by King George III and its government was led by Prime Minister William Pitt the Younger. George III was the British monarch throughout the entire period, and Pitt served the Prime Minister for most of it. The British monarchy and the ruling class were also very cautious and defensive. They feared the revolutionary ideas might inspire uprisings in Britain also. So they took all the measures to suppress the radical groups, censored the writings, and prevented the spread of revolutionary fervor. Certain British thinkers, writers, and reformers admired the French Revolution's principles of liberty and equality. They hoped similar reforms could happen in Britain also, but others, like Edmund Burke, strongly opposed it and warned it would lead to chaos. Spain and the neighbors were also hostile and fearful, but they still gave refuge to the French nobles. None had declared war yet in 1789, but by 1792 most of them formed coalitions against France. The National Assembly declared war on Prussia and Austria in April of 1792. Why did the National Assembly declare war? Because of a joint statement by the Prussian and the Austrian rulers expressing their intent to intervene in France to protect King Louis XVI. This intensified the fears among the people. There was also growing suspicion and distrust on the king that he was collaborating with the foreign powers to undermine the revolution. The National Assembly declared war on Prussia and Austria in April 1792 also because they wanted to spread the revolutionary ideals, and also they were under pressure from the radical factions like the Jacobins who sought internal unity and wanted to expose the royal sympathizers. Austria and Prussia were sheltering French nobles who wanted monarchy restored. They were openly threatening to attack France if the royal family was harmed in any way. So, on 20 April 1792, the National Assembly declared war on Austria. Soon after, Prussia also joined Austria against France. This was the beginning of the Revolutionary Wars in Europe. What were the consequences of this war? The French army was poorly trained at first and lost early battles. This created panic. Thousands of volunteers joined the army to defend the revolution, which gave rise to patriotism. The revolutionary song La Marseillaise, now France's national anthem, was also sung by the volunteers marching to the battlefield. La Marseillaise is the national anthem of France, composed in 1792 by Claude Joseph Rouget de Lisle. The war worsened distrust of the king. In August 1792, the monarchy was suspended, as discussed in the previous video also, and by September 1792, France declared a republic. So, the War of April 1792 against Austria and Prussia marked the revolution's shift from a fight for reforms to European wide struggle that spread revolutionary ideas across the borders. The Jacobin Club. The Jacobin Club was the most influential political club during the French Revolution. It began as a debating society in Paris in 1789, originally attended by moderate members of the National Assembly, but soon became a meeting place for the radical revolutionaries who wanted to change the system, who wanted to overthrow monarchy. Its members included lawyers, intellectuals, and small shopkeepers, and later it drew strong support from the working class. The club was named after the former Jacobin monastery in Paris, where they held their meetings. The Jacobins strongly believed in the principles of equality, liberty, and fraternity. They opposed the monarchy and privileges of the nobility. Its leaders, like Robespierre, wanted to end the monarchy and create a republic based on equality and liberty. Many shopkeepers, artisans, and common people also supported the Jacobins because they spoke of the poor who were neglected. When they came to power in 1793, they introduced strict laws to protect the revolution and punished the enemies very harshly. This is known as the Reign of Terror. The convention, Jacobins attacking the palace of Tuileries, the home of King Louis XVI. Tensions began and rose between King Louis XVI and the revolutionaries for months. His vetoes of radical measures passed by the Legislative Assembly angered the public. The arrival of the Prussian and the Austrian armies on the France border, subsequent Brunswick Manifesto, which threatened to harm the French people if the royal family was hurt in any way, served as the final provocation for the people. On August 10, 1792, the insurrection of 10 August occurred, a pivotal event of the French Revolution. Revolutionaries stormed the Tuileries Palace, the home of King Louis XVI. This violent uprising led to the suspension of the French monarchy, imprisonment of the king and his family, and ultimately paved the way for France to become a republic. The insurrection of 10th August 1792 led to the suspension of the existing monarchy and the Legislative Assembly. This event prompted the call for elections to a new assembly, the National Convention, which was established to draft a new constitution and ultimately replaced the Legislative Assembly. The newly elected assembly was called the Convention. It abolished monarchy on 21st September 1792. The convention found King guilty, and on 21st January 1793, Louis XVI was executed by the guillotine in Paris. His death shocked the world. Monarchies in Europe were horrified and became even more determined to fight the revolutionary France. Marie Antoinette's trial began on 14 October 1793. 2 days later, she was also convicted by the Revolutionary Tribunal and executed by guillotine. The Reign of Terror. The Reign of Terror was a very violent period during the French Revolution from September 1793 to July 1794. It was marked by mass executions of perceived enemies of the revolution, particularly aristocrats, clergy, and counter revolutionaries. They targeted a wide range of people, including nobles, priests, and ordinary citizens, with estimates of those executed ranging between 18,500 to 40,000. Maximilien Robespierre was a radical leader of the French Revolution and a key figure in the Reign of Terror. The endless executions led to a growing fear among the members of the National Convention that they would be next. Robespierre's final speech hinted that he had a new list of traitors, but he refused to name them, turning many against him. Robespierre was executed on 28th July 1794 because he had become too powerful and too harsh during the Reign of Terror. To end his dictatorship and stop the terror, his opponents arrested him. He was sent to the guillotine without trial, along with 21 of his closest followers, on July 28, 1794. During the French Revolution, the Jacobin government took a very historic step by abolishing slavery. France had colonies in the Caribbean where enslaved Africans worked on sugar, coffee, and cotton plantations. These colonies made huge profits for French merchants, but the conditions of the enslaved people were extremely harsh. Inspired by the revolutionary ideas of liberty and equality, enslaved people in Saint Dominic revolted in 1791. They wanted to change their conditions. Under pressure from these revolts and radical revolutionaries in France, the Jacobin government, led by Robespierre, abolished slavery in all French colonies in 1794. This made France the first European country to officially end slavery in its colonies. However, when Napoleon Bonaparte came to power in 1802, he reintroduced slavery until it was finally and permanently abolished in 1848. A Directory Rules of France. The Directory was a five-member executive committee that governed France from 1795 to 1799 in the final stages of the revolution. Created by the Constitution of 1795, it was meant to provide a more stable and moderate alternative to the radicalism of the Jacobin dominated Reign of Terror. The Directory's rules established a new government structure with limited suffrage and a bicameral legislature. Limited suffrage meant only a small privileged section of society containing rich males could vote and take part in elections. The directors often clashed with the legislative councils, leading to frequent stalemates and use of military to annul the election results. The directory was finally overthrown on November 9, 1799 by General Napoleon Bonaparte with the support of some directors. This marked the end of the directory and beginning of the consulate with Napoleon Bonaparte as the dominant figure. Women in the French Revolution. Women were present in almost every revolutionary event. The most famous was the Women's March to Versailles in October 1789, where thousands of women demanded bread and forced king to move to Paris. Political clubs and societies. Women formed their own political clubs, such as the Society of Revolutionary Republican Women, where they discussed politics and demanded rights. Women argued that the principles of liberty and equality should apply to them also. Olympe de Gouges wrote the Declaration of the Rights of Women and Female Citizens, demanding equal rights in marriage, education, and voting for all the women. Women worked in markets, ran small shops, and supported revolutionary soldiers. Many wrote pamphlets, attended assemblies, and helped in spreading the revolutionary ideas. Despite their active role, women did not gain political rights. The Jacobins even banned women's political clubs in 1793. It was only much later that women in France got the right to vote. They had to struggle for it. Napoleon Bonaparte's role. Napoleon Bonaparte ruled France as the first consul and then as the emperor, expanding his empire through military conquest across Europe. His final defeat came at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, leading to his permanent exile to the island of St. Helena. Wherever Napoleon's armies went, Italy, Germany, Spain, they spread the ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. He ended the feudal privileges, serfdom, and noble power in many regions of Europe. Napoleon proved that a common man could rise to emperor, shaking the old idea that kings ruled by divine right. After his fall, monarchies were restored in many places, but revolutionary ideas could never be destroyed. What was the impact of French Revolution in India? Let's see. The ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity and democracy inspired educated Indians. Early reformers and thinkers in India began questioning monarchy, caste hierarchy, and inequality. Inspiration for Indian reformers and freedom fighters was gained from the French Revolution. Leaders like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, influenced by the Enlightenment and revolutionary thought, supported social reforms. In places like Pondicherry, a French colony, revolutionaries set up Jacobin clubs to spread the revolutionary ideas. Even the Indian soldiers and sepoys came into contact with these ideas of equality and republicanism. Impact on Tipu Sultan, the ruler of Mysore. Tipu Sultan was the ruler of Mysore, was influenced by the French revolutionary ideals. He planted a tree of liberty in his kingdom and became a member of a Jacobin club set up in Seringapatnam. He allied with the French against the British, hoping to establish a strong and independent Mysore for the welfare of his people. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This brings us to the end of the French Revolution. Thank you.